but it's like, okay, you get your hopes up and you think you move forward. And honestly, I blame those damn Cheerio commercials. And so you target a community that's less than 1% of the population. Oh God, I don't even know the most, but I mean, I know going after transgender, especially transgender kids. You got gay couples selling like, just freaking sell your stuff.
Ever notice how Melania's accent gets thicker whenever Trump gets more embarrassing? Wanda Sykes did, and she turned it into comedy gold that had Trump throwing a tantrum worthy of a toddler denied ice cream. In this video, we're breaking down Sykes' most brutal jokes, Trump's predictable meltdown, and the most interesting part, Melania's suspicious silence. Is she blinking in Morse code for help, or is she secretly enjoying watching her husband get destroyed on national TV? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever wonder what happens when a comedian with no filter meets a president with paper-thin skin? Wanda Sykes showed us exactly that. During her recent stand-up special, Sykes started off with some seemingly innocent jokes that quickly escalated into a full-blown roast that had Trump fuming and Melania suspiciously silent. Sykes kicked things off by comparing Trump's behavior to her 7-year-old son. They both throw tantrums when they don't get their way, she joked. But at least my kid has the excuse of being, 7. The audience chuckled nervously, not yet realizing they were witnessing the beginning of a comedy avalanche. As her routine progressed, Wanda didn't hold back. She targeted Trump's ego with surgical precision, suggesting that Melania might be the smarter one in that relationship. She's the one who speaks 5 languages while he struggles with just 1. The audience's laughter grew louder as Sykes pushed further. Then came the Hitler bomb. Referencing a tell-all book, Sykes quoted Trump allegedly telling his chief of staff that Hitler did a lot of good things. She paused for effect before adding, "Yeah, that's exactly what you want to hear from the guy with the nuclear codes. Praise for Hitler. Super reassuring."
What's your opinion of why it went this way? Why Americans voted the way we did?
Sometimes America is just gonna America. Cereal, just sell the damn cereal. Why are you bringing us into this? I mean, have you seen The Bachelor? Women tear each other apart over a dude, so why do you think? So you're going after, like affirming care as far as like the sex. And it's like, okay, so...
Sykes then tore into Trump's inability to handle rejection, highlighting those infamous clips of Melania swatting his hand away during public appearances. Did you see how she keeps smacking his hand away? That's not a marriage. That's a hostage situation with better outfits, Sykes quipped as the audience roared. The comedy assault continued with Sykes pointing out how Melania's accent mysteriously gets thicker every time she has to defend something ridiculous her husband said. Mimicking an exaggerated accent, she joked, "The accent is her escape hatch. The thicker it gets, the less responsible she is for what comes out of her mouth." Perhaps Wanda's most brutal hit came when she compared the White House Christmas decorations under Melania's direction to a haunted forest straight out of a Tim Burton fever dream. Showing images of the infamous red Christmas trees, Sykes asked, "Is she decorating for Christmas or warning us about the apocalypse?" Building to her climax, Sykes suggested Melania might actually be blinking in Morse code for help when standing beside Trump. Watch her eyes carefully, folks. I think she's trying to tell us something. If you see her blink SOS during the next press conference, someone call 911. That hashtag, she blinked twice Melania, wasn't just comedy gold. It actually touched a nerve.
And, I know it's like, well, white women didn't vote for him. Didn't vote for her. So why is the majority of white women not voting for another woman? I'm like, y'all need to watch more Bravo.
Of all the things Trump latched onto and used during this campaign, which puzzled you? What thing puzzled you the most? I don't even want to necessarily call them issues.
You're focusing on that, on sex change. It's like, how about focus on climate change that affects everybody? That was like, that was good. Because here's the thing. You're supposed to be trying to fix the problems of America, right?
While audiences were still laughing at Wanda's jokes, the former president was having what insiders described as a complete meltdown behind the scenes. Funny how the man with nuclear codes can't handle a few jokes, right? Trump's reaction was textbook Trump. All-caps social media rants filled with his trademark excessive exclamation points and spelling errors that would make a third-grade teacher weep. But the real chaos was happening away from the public eye. His staff reportedly went into full crisis mode, quite literally, spinning in circles like malfunctioning Roombas, trying to contain the fallout from a comedy routine. The orange guy was so wounded that he actually called emergency meetings to address, wait for it, jokes. Imagine being the national security advisor waiting to discuss important matters while the president demands strategies to counter a comedian's punchlines. Talk about priorities. Critical policy decisions collecting dust while Trump's bruised ego took center stage. But here's where things get really interesting. Throughout this entire comedy-induced tornado, one person remained suspiciously silent: Melania. Not a single word defending her husband came from the former First Lady. Nothing, nada, zilch. Internet sleuths quickly picked up on this, resurrecting that famous clip where she swatted away Trump's hand during an official visit. The video suddenly took on new meaning as people analyzed every micro-expression on Melania's face. When the silence became too obvious to ignore, Melania's PR team finally issued what can only be described as the most emotionless and vague statement in the history of political damage control. Somehow they managed to string together a bunch of words that communicated absolutely nothing of substance. A true masterclass in saying zilch while using way too many words. Meanwhile, Trump's tantrum reached new heights when he actually suggested creating new laws to restrict comedians. Because apparently, the Constitution's free speech protections should have an asterisk that reads, "except when Donald's feelings get hurt." Nothing says, "I'm totally secure in myself," like wanting to criminalize jokes. The internet, being the internet, ran wild with theories. Was Melania secretly Team Wanda? Did she actually enjoy watching her husband get expertly roasted? The hashtag #sign blinked twice. Melania exploded across social media, with users suggesting she was secretly sending coded signals of delight every time Trump got publicly humiliated. So when the dust settles on this epic comedy showdown, who really comes out on top? Not Trump with his Twitter tantrums or his team of panicking staffers. Nope, it's the rest of us who got to watch a comedian with nothing but jokes completely unravel a man who once had access to nuclear codes. The most fascinating character in this whole drama might actually be Melania. According to insider reports, she may have mixed feelings about these comedy routines targeting her husband. Some sources suggest she might actually find humor in the jokes despite her public poker face. Talk about awkward family dinners. The comedy battlefield leaves us with one burning question. Is Melania secretly chuckling behind closed doors? Her sphinx-like silence might be the greatest punchline of all.